Moscow, the heart of Russia, ruled not by Russians but by Poland. Sounds impossible, right? But in the early 1600s it actually happened. Poland literally conquered and occupied Moscow for 2 entire years, and nobody talks about this. This wild chapter begins after the death of Ivan the Terrible. Russia plunged into chaos, famine, no clear ruler, and civil war. Historians call it the time of troubles, and troubled it was. It was 1610, Russia had no legitimate ruler and the country was in complete chaos, and the economy had completely collapsed. Enter Poland. Back then, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was one of the most powerful states in Europe. So Poland saw this mess and thought, you know what, perfect opportunity. So they backed a series of mysterious figures known as the false Demetrius pretenders, who claimed to be Ivan the Terrible's miraculously surviving son. And believe it or not, people actually followed them. By 1610, Polish troops marched right into Moscow. Not only that, but they even installed a Polish prince, W. Ladislaw, as Tsar of Russia. They marched their army straight into Russian territory, defeated the Russian armies and walked, and for 2 years they basically did. Polish troops were stationed throughout the capital. Polish officials were running the government. For 2 whole years, from 1610 to 1612, Moscow was essentially a Polish city, but Russia wasn't going to stay down. In 1612, a fiery resistance movement led by Prince Dmitry Pozharsky and merchant Kuzma Minin rose up. Ordinary Russians, farmers, tradesmen, soldiers united to take their country back. They stormed the Kremlin, drove out the Polish forces, and restored Russia's independence. A year later, in 1613, the crown went to Michael Romanov, starting the Romanov dynasty that would rule for 300 years. But think about how insane this is. Poland, which today has about the same population as California, once controlled the capital of what would become one of the world's largest empires. They held Moscow longer than Napoleon, longer than Hitler ever dreamed of. Yet when people talk about foreign invasions of Russia, they always mention 1812 and 1941, but never 1610. This is probably why Russia has been paranoid about Western invasion ever since. Poland literally proved it could be done, and they held the crown jewel of Russian cities